Phil Davis, Ancestry Lands, Ancestry Lands. Good morning, good morning. Really excited today, really charged today. And I gotta say, folks, thank you to my subscribers. You all definitely keep me going. To the viewers, both good and bad, you still keep me going. And one of the things I want to leave you with, something inspirational that really impacted me. And it was something I saw on Instagram, talking about staying away from people who claim to be victims in circumstances they created. And what does that mean? People who claim to be victims in circumstances that they created and problems. So they create problems and then they claim to be the victim. They create these problems in their lives, these situations, and then they come to you for sympathy, for apathy, and you're supposed to feel sorry for them, although they willingly, knowingly choose to be in that situation or made a choice to be in that situation. It wasn't like they weren't aware of the dangers. It wasn't like they weren't aware of that the situation could potentially lead bad, or the education is not there, or any situation like that has never occurred before. It's not like they didn't have any forewarning where they could prepare themselves. This is a situation where people got themselves into, and now they're looking for some help, for someone to save them from their own choices. This is someone who, or someone you may know. These might be people that you deal with in life, in your family or loved ones, or this might even be you. You know, the toxicity of having people around you that always are in a situation where they are the victim, you got to get rid of people like that, man. If you are a person that is productive, I'll give you a situation in my own life. Now as a nurse, for well over 20 years at this point, when I was taking my nursing test, I didn't pass my nursing test the first time around. It took me almost 2 years to actually pass my nursing test after taking it, multiple times. Actually, I passed it on the 4th try. And once you don't pass your nursing test, you got to wait a certain amount of 90 days, at least in New York State. There's a waiting period where you got to wait 3 months, at least 20 years ago it was. And after the first time I didn't pass, second time I didn't pass. And now again, remember, I graduated with a nursing degree, but I could not practice nursing without a nursing license. You have to be a licensed professional to practice nursing and get paid, which means at 22, now I'm 43, I had to wait. I could not enter into the hospital, that environment, to start practicing as a nurse right away, even though I graduated, which is a major setback. You're not talking with someone who I made it straight through every time. I had every level of success. I've had failures and extreme setbacks that now to this day are stories that I'm giving to you to inspire you, to show you that, hey, you can do it too. And in that situation, when I didn't pass, after the second time, or maybe it's the second or third time, I kind of just didn't take the test for probably about 6-7 months. I just internally gave up trying. What I did not do is give up or start blaming or say, why is me or the system, or it's because I'm black, this is a white test. I didn't go to the normal Afro shenanigans, I'll call it, of blaming everything else but my inability to pass the test. What I did have was the ability to shift to the next, the next groove. Immediately after I didn't pass my test, I took the LPN test, which is a licensed practicing nurse, which is a step below a RN as far as in the levels of nursing. And I immediately passed that test. Actually, to be truthful, I think I took the test the next day and I had a hangover because I was drinking the night before. I knew what I knew, but every time when I say I didn't pass the test in a nursing test, there's a not passing, there is almost passing, and there is passing. I don't know why they do it, but every one of my tests, I was almost passing. was like right on the middle line, like 73.9, and you needed a 74 to pass. And talk about devastating. It wasn't like I had this supreme lack of knowledge. I had enough knowledge to be just under competent enough to go out and practice as a nurse. Like a point, one answer could have changed my life at any point. One right answer, I would not be in front of you. I'd be doing something different in my life. My life would have had a different outcome. I probably wouldn't have my children. I probably would have been married to someone else, because the steps by which my failure happened took me on a different journey overall. So when I decided, hey, I can take my license, my LPN license, I immediately did that like almost the next day. Passed that, which allowed me to still practice nursing, but at a lower level, which pretty much meant that I was going to make a couple dollars less. But again, my mind was not into the, I'm a victim, why did this happen to me? That was my nursing time studying. I wasn't a strong student. So when it came to test, I wasn't a great test taker. As a clinician, person that practices nursing, I'm stronger in hands-on doing things and critical thinking in tight situations, which sometimes those nurses that could pass the test, they can't handle situations like that. When your kid's passing out and you need to run a code or you need some life-saving measures, those passing nurses go grab me. They want me there doing the chest compressions to make sure your heart is pumping, not because I have muscles, but because under fire, under pressure, I summon my talent. Under pressure, I'm able to summon my mental faculties and perform. Under pressure, I'm able to think. Even in a situation where options are limited, I'm able to critically think and bring about a positive solution. I'm able to take criticism in that same time and formulate or integrate ideas, not of my own, but sometimes of the working of others, and able to come up with an on-spot solution. These videos are not planned, they're not scripted, they're not AI driven. These are all inspirational videos designed to give you real world life experiences to draw forth and summon your talent, your abilities. So you are not limited to the limitations of others and the people trying to make you the savior to their victimhood. And really, it's the victimhood that they're talking about is just a ploy to bring you down or get you involved into their bullshit. It really is. You got people out there that are in bad situations, that are in debt, and yet they go out to lunch or breakfast every single day. They live paycheck to paycheck, and the first time they get money, they don't practice financial restraint. They don't even practice bring your lunch to work. No. I got people that at my job that I work at, I've seen people who they take early withdrawals from a paycheck they haven't even claimed yet. They're borrowing from their own future. Early payday, whatever. I don't even know what it's called. It was so foreign to me because I don't live a life like that. And when I went to understand it, it's pretty much they're able to take an early payday even though they haven't been paid based upon the hours that they're working before the Friday payday, which is crazy that that even exists. But they can get paid early, or even say I've worked 1 week and I can get paid now. Now, again, I'm not going to go in on people being unfortunate. But when I look at their other financial habits, such as the fact that they're ordering out breakfast every day, ordering out lunch every day, I'm watching them and I'm saying, man, dang, you know, I bring my lunch every single day and I've got money saved. And it's not a me versus them, but I'm looking at this person's financial habits, and it's not hard to pin out where a person could start putting money away. I remember having this conversation with my brother when he just graduated college. He was 22. And I asked him to say, hey, bro, can you save $25 a month? Because, again, he was in a spending. You know, I was 24, he was 22. And he was, oh, man, $25 is pretty hard to say. Now, again, this is 20 years ago. But it was teaching my brother, being a role model, that, hey, man, think about what you just said. You can't save $25 a month. I mean, that's one item that you might buy. That's a movie. That's something that you purchase a month that you just got to do without. Just one time. You know, can you do that this month and then maybe not buy something else that's $25 the next month and go back and buy that thing? Can you abstain with something that you think you need, you think you want in your life? Can you abstain from that for 30 days and buy it at the end of that 30 days and then try something else that costs $25? Just start there. Start small. And when he thought about it, bless my brother's heart for having the intelligence to be able to understand the message I was imparting. He said, yeah, man, you know, you're right. It does sound crazy that I just said I can't save $25, which is a running, laughing joke 20 years later. Because when you think about just saying that to some person and that they got to the mindset that they argued for it and they took time to take inventory to think about what they said, it does sound crazy. But again, my brother wasn't blaming something else and why, well, you know, I'm just a new teacher. They don't pay me enough. They don't pay me enough because I'm black or because I'm darker than you. None of that stuff was his mindset. His mindset was, I've got to start doing the work. These people that are going to be littered throughout your life, you're going to run into them more commonly than the people who are not that way. These people are going to be the people that are closest to you. These are going to be the people that have the most impact or power over you by their influence over you. These are the people that are going to affect you more, and what they do, the outcomes in their lives have direct impact on your life only in the sense of the proximity in relation to you. That's their impact. I got another friend, very close friend of mine. You've seen him in videos, just saw him last month. And again, the problems that his brother created in his life are directly related to the choices he made. And it bothers him, but again, the one thing that I see him doing, which is the one thing I'm going to tell you that you should do, is not just to stay away from people who are victims in situations or problems that they created. The way that you get around that is by being around people that you share a common future with. When I say that, when you see me in videos with Don Coombs, when you see me in videos with other people of note, you see people that I'm working with or work with in the future, such as Josh B. Shout out to you, Josh. You see my Ancestry Lands being mentioned on channels such as Coach Greg Adams. You see me working, or you see me work with Melanin Market, doing all these events, interviewing people of note, and you see me start building towards people who are going in the same direction, in the same place that I am. I don't need to do videos or do videos with people just because I have a common past with them. I do videos with people, or I do business with people that have a common future. Most of my clients are buying land today to own tomorrow, that they're going to be land owners just like myself. You want to make sure that you're interacting and intertwining with people who are going in the same place that you're headed with in the future. Don't just be loyal to people because you have a common past. You got to leave those people behind. And it's just that short and simple to what you need to do. The hard part is, can you do it? Can you be of value? Can you be the person that is not going to be the victim in the problem of the situation that you created by not cutting those people off today and them harming you in the future? Is your future self going to look back and say, that was a good idea to trim that fat, in the words of Ken Vacant, to cut that bad poison out? I mean, hell, even in the Bible, it tells you if your right arm causes you to sin, best cut it off than the whole body be thrown in the lake of fire. Now, you don't have to be religious, but knowledge and wisdom is something that you can find in any text. And I read a lot of religious texts. You get a lot of good information from people who were wise enough, and they might have believed in a higher power, but they still believed in wisdom and goodness. So again, I'm going to say the same thing to you, is that you need to stop being around people who are victims in problems they've created. And you need to start being around people you have a common future with, instead of people that you share a common past. That's all I have for today, folks. Phillip Davis, Ancestry Lands. AncestryLands.com is where you go to find property. Make sure you like, share, and share this everywhere. You could be anywhere, but I'm glad you're watching this video here with me. Remember, folks, the description to my book, Getting Dollars from Dirt, A Beginner's Guide to Vacant Land Investing, is in the description section below. Phil Davis, remember, folks, own property or you'll be owned as property. Take care, have a great day, and I'm out. Peace.